Okay guys, so today we're going to talk about positioning your offer. So when we talk about positioning your offer, it's going to have to do mostly with what you do on social media. Most of the time when you talk on different topics on social media, you want to come across as someone that can dominate a specific domain of information. And within your information, you allude to your offer as the solution that you implemented in order for you to get to wherever you are. So today I'm going to break down for you exactly how you can structure your offer, also examples of how you can do that, and for you to have an idea that if you implement these things, it's going to help you become more clear and more specific in selling your offer. Because most people out there have vague offers or offers that doesn't convert into sales because of the simple fact that people don't understand it. So the main thing I want to focus on here as a start is selling the process instead of the outcome. So when we think about selling the process, we are thinking about selling transformational steps, which people get an aha moment, like a breakthrough idea, or people that understand what you are going through based on your understanding, perspective, opinion about the different stages that you went through. If they understand that, they feel more aligned and more connected. And that's how they will come to understand, like, oh, now I understand why his offer can relate to me. Therefore, it can help me. Therefore, let me check it out. Okay, so they feel more compelled to go and get your offer. Now, most beginners, when they try to do this, they say, for example, like you can get 10 coach call and a Notion template, or they will say, like, you will get access to 50 AI Notion tools, blah, 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 blah. But if you think about it, you are talking about the feature. You're not talking about transformation, which people want transformation. Okay, so if they are seeking transformation, now you have to think about, instead of features, swap it with the transformational element so that they buy into the process for getting the result. Now, there are gurus out there pushing the idea, hey, sell the result, sell the outcome instead of the process. And when you do it like that, people come to you and they immediately see you as a lottery ticket. In other words of saying, if they buy your stuff and within a day, within a week, within a month, they don't see any of the result that supposedly you are having, but they are not getting, or they are not having either, then they will refund. Then they will see you as a failure. Then they will see you as a scammer. And it becomes a snowball effect where people are buying into you, but then they're not getting the result, and it just keeps perpetuating like that. Ideally, you want to sell the transformational process, because people will then understand and come to you that they need to be able to go through that process. They need to be able to develop those skills. They need to be able to change their mindset and their identity of who they are to become a better person in order to achieve the results. And this is how you position your offer as a transformational offer, rather than only the outcome of make money or something else. An example will be like learn how to make 5K in a month using AI automation to not have to do sales call again. So now your people are seeing like, oh, I can make 5K, but the main reason they're buying into it because they don't want to do sales calls and they can use it with AI automation instead. All right, so they're like alleviating themselves from that pain. From the other side as well, they want to quit their 9 to 5, which is the main desire, the main process they want to go through and experience in order for them to make like 5K a month or 10K a month online selling digital products within the next 90 days. But the main thing you focus on is the 9 to 5. You want to quit your 9 to 5. And within your social media, you talk about the automation process, how you set it up to avoid feeling awkward on the calls or to avoid being salesy, etc. Or if you're talking about a 9 to 5, you're going to talk about the difficulty you had or experienced when you went through the 9 to 5, or when you see your friends going through 9 to 5, or your relatives getting, like harassed by the boss or something. So when you think like that and you start processing and posting yourself on social media, talking about those angles, then you will start seeing it's more about transformation and people are starting to gather to you because no one cares about the feature because everyone sells the feature. Now, the other side of the coin is there's 3 points for you to position the formula here in order for you to sell your offer and attract buyers, okay, and raise the demand for your offer. First of all, who it is for. You have to be specific. An example that I can give is that I help solopreneurs struggle to monetize online. Okay, so if I say it like that, it immediately states to you that I work with people that are solopreneurs and cannot sell their offer or cannot sell their service because they cannot monetize their stuff. Other is like the core promise. Okay, so you go from 0 to 5K using AI automation. It says to you exactly for who it is, like for newbies, people just starting out, because it says 0 to 5K. It doesn't say 5 to 10K. If it says 5 to 10K, then those people will be probably more experienced. They already have an offer, they already have traffic, they already are making money. The only thing then you are going through is you're explaining to them like, okay, how to optimize it. Okay, so then instead of me saying like, hey, you will be using AI, you can say like, hey, how to optimize your AI automation in order for you to make 5 to 10K or scale from 5 to 10K to 15K, something like that. Now, the third part will be the why now. So for you to help people take action, people need a deadline. So you will say, hey, I have limited spots before price goes up. So if you have limited spots, when they visit your page, they need to see it's only for a certain amount of people. And then you have to make sure you close the gate at that certain amount of people. Okay, once you reach that threshold. From the other side, if your price is going up, the moment you hit the threshold or the moment you close the door, the price has to go up. If it doesn't, or within a couple of days it goes back down, they will feel like, hey, this is like fake urgency or fake scarcity. And they don't believe you and it damages your brand. Next time you launch a follow-up offer, something else, you're going to see that it's going to flop because no one's interested in your fake urgency, fake scarcity. Now, when you position your offer like this, it's going to be more clear to the buyer, and therefore the buyer are going to hesitate less because you can see you are a straight shooter. So therefore, the moment they see your offer, they will take action. Versus the competitors that says fake scarcity, and every single week they're posting the same offer, every single month they have the same offer, etc., etc. Okay, so you have to be mindful of that. The third is to be specific about your offer so that it is not irresistible, but your offer is more, I would say, in demand or attractive. Okay, so meaning you don't want to make an irresistible offer, but you want to make the offer more clearer, okay, for people to understand. And when it's clear, they know exactly what the objective is. So most people will try to make their offer sound fancy by using fancy words. But I will urge you to not use regurgitated fancy words like high performance or accelerator or quick step, etc. Because those type of things tend to attract the wrong-minded person. Meaning, again, if people don't see it fast, but you said fast, then they're gonna refund. If people don't see it fancy, and you say this is highly premium, fancy, blah blah blah, and they see it's not fancy, they will kind of like leave you as well, and you will start seeing like, hey, it's an up and down cycle. But if you're clear, straight to the point, and you say, hey, I'm just gonna help you make 1,000 within the next 30 days, then that's the only goal that you need to work on. It's very simple, very clear. They know exactly. If they want to make $1,000 within the next 30 days, they come to you. And within the process of they coming to you and they see, oh, these guys have a plan, like a roadmap, like a blueprint, in order for you to hit that 1,000, immediately they will stick to you because they can see your content is legit. And you probably have seen this as well on YouTube. When people make YouTube videos and they don't go straight to the point and they start blabbing and talking and rambling about other stuff, you're just like, hey, this is bait and switch. So then you immediately don't trust this person again. Okay, so that is something you want to keep mindful of. And if you're doing it with your offer, please don't do it because you're just shooting yourself in the foot. So you want to be specific, you want to be clear. So specificity is clarity, and clarity is conversions. That's what you want to remember. Now, if your audience can't point out the exact thing that you are trying to help them achieve, or you're going to do for them, or the transformation they're getting, you can even ask them this question. But if they're not able to understand it, ideally, you want to work on it so that you can improve your offer. So you want to instantly increase your demand with your offer. But how do you do this? Well, most offers fail because they lack urgency. As we already talked about, urgency and scarcity is something that you can play with, but you have to be legit about it. You cannot say that you're going to implement it, and the moment they kind of see the date or the threshold has been reached, and then immediately it goes back to zero. I've seen a lot of people do this. They have some type of timer within their ClickFunnels, or they go high level, or within Kajabi, blah, blah, blah. And the timer just goes back to zero and just starts again, starts new. and you're like, okay, this is fake. So if it was for real, you would buy it. If it's fake, you were like, I'm not gonna trust these people, because if they're lying to me like this, probably what else they might be lying to me. That's what it's on the back of people's mind. So you have to be mindful of implementing three things in order for you to legitimize your scarcity and your urgency. First of all is to cap the numbers of the spots. As we say, if you only have spots for 5 people or 8 people or 10 people, etc., keep it at that for that month. In my case, for example, in my program, on a one-on-one basis, I only work with 8 people throughout the month. If you think about it carefully, 8 people, that is basically 2 people a week. I do not work more than that. For the simple fact, I don't want to burden myself. And I state this very clearly. The moment I work with more people, I start feeling like I don't want to do the work anymore. I don't want to be dragged by this person anymore. So I quit and I stop the work with that person. Ideally, you want to put the threshold that you can handle and you can happily serve those audience. Second point, you want to have a deadline. If you are running a offer, a challenge, a workshop, a webinar, etc., have a deadline for people to register. Because if you don't have a deadline, it will not seem legit. And if you have a deadline and it goes back to 0 the next day, you are shooting yourself in the foot. You're damaging your credibility. So ideally, you want to have your deadline and you fulfill on your deadline. The moment it closes, it closes. Then it will open back within a month and people are able to sign up again. And the third is to raise your prices over time. So if you sold a workshop today for like $1, next time sell it for like $5, next time sell it for $10, next time sell it for $15, etc., etc. You can go up to 97 or even maybe 197, something like that. Not more than 200, but somewhere in $1 to $200. And you keep raising it. The reason you want to keep doing that is because you want to show people that if they miss out, the next time they don't take action, there's a consequence. The price goes up. If, again, you don't do that, what will happen is that people will kind of see like, hey, I can go around the system and take advantage of you, your offer, your stuff. And you don't want to be, giving away your stuff. Okay, so why now, or why you should make it now and test this with your offer. Try to have different approach so that you can pick, or your audience can pick your offer versus your competitors. Now, if you discuss to them or you explain to them, you articulate your why and why now, people will come to you. And you explain to them, for example, why you are different or why they should buy from you today rather than tomorrow. And this will help them understand the urgency of their situation. Because sometimes people are so busy with other stuff, they don't realize it. Meaning, if they are wanting to attend your webinar, but they don't realize that you have let's say you had a timer, but they didn't see the timer, they didn't pay attention to the timer, or they saw the timer, but since they're distracted with other stuff, they haven't paid attention as to the date or time that your timer was giving to them on the page. Ideally, they think, oh, it's gonna, cancel or close next week. But probably it may be the next day. They have no clue. So you have to constantly reiterate and remind them about why you are the person they want to work with and why take action right now. And this, you can simply add it into an example like, hey, I built a 10K one-person business using a newsletter with an AI automation so that you don't have to do ads or outreach again or deal with pesky salespeople. So you can learn the exact system inside the program before it closes on Friday. Okay, so what I'm trying to say here is I'm giving you an example of something you can implement so that you can go and try to tweak yours and see how you can test it out for, again, people to learn why to work with you and why not. And this builds the trust and the urgency with the individual. So it means that if you are doing something with them, if you are working on a project and you're sharing this with them and you're saying like, hey, I'm going to be building a webinar for the coming 2-3 weeks. At the end of the month, I'm going to present it. If you're interested, I would highly recommend you to attend because of this reason, and you explain your why, etc. And then you will go into the details of the date. Why you chose that date, why they need to act now. Those who act now are going to get an extra call with you or extra bonus. Those who wait till the end, maybe like last day, would not be able to get those limited bonuses, etc., etc. When you do it like that and you give an incentive for them to act now, they feel more inclined to also do so. And this is why you want to position your offer, because once you add all those elements, it helps you stand out versus the competitors that are just pushing hustle culture. Okay, so the pricing rule that you can implement as one of the key elements is that you also want to 10x, as we say, raise your prices as you go. So at the most basic level, you want to make sure that you are implementing the cost of inactivity, the ROI, and the alternatives. So for example, cost of inactivity, meaning if people don't take action right now, what will happen is the price will go up, right? So just as we talked about. But when the price goes up, they're going to pay a cost, a consequence for inactivities, for not taking action. An example will be if I wanted to buy a ticket to Europe right now, I probably will have to pay like $700 to $1,000, something like that. But if I wait for like 3, 4, 5 months to purchase it all the way till the end, guess what will happen? The price will go up, and I will be paying extra for my inactivity for not purchasing earlier, right? So you see a lot of with workshops and webinars as well, they do like an early bird ticket. So if you think about it, if you get it on early bird, you get it cheaper versus you get regular price afterwards, right? You don't want to do that. So if you implement that, it will also be a plus for you because again, you will get more influx of sales at the beginning. Second, you want to think on the ROI. So if people are going to make money with whatever you're selling them throughout the workshop, throughout the webinar, etc., logically you want to price for that as well. So if your offer is, I would say like $300 or $1,000 or $1,500 or $2K, you want to make sure like if someone were to go to this process, how much potential do they have at making this in a ROAS, like money spent for whatever budget they want to spend. So if they can spend like if they can earn an ROI of 2K, 2x, 3x, 4x, etc. If indeed that is the case, then logically you want to price for that as well. Okay, so maybe you have it at 200, but you can see people are making 2, 3, 5K with it. You can probably raise it to 1,000, something like that. Okay. Now the alternative. So if your offer is fast and easy as a solution, then you have to think: is my system efficient? Is my system more clearer? Is my system more dialed in? If yes, talk about those things based on the transformation it gives. This will help them see why you stand out versus the competition which only talks about the feature or the outcome. As you can see, some competition only talk about money. Everything is tied to money. If it's not money related, they don't talk about it. In real life, not everything is money related. So your relationship with your parents is not money related. Your relationship with your friends is not money related. The relationship with yourself, for you having a purpose in life, for you wanting to explore life, for you wanting to share moments with your relative, friends, etc., is not money related. So talk about those things that because of your system, because of your program, because of your offer, they're able to enjoy those things. And the system that you have, the offer that you have, whatever method that you have, will also include as a byproduct the money aspect. Okay? And if your offer has, again, these elements included within the pricing, because it goes up every single time, people will take faster action. And that is what we want, people to take action. So as a final note, for you to position your offer using these elements and formulas, is for you to get your offer in a clear, specific manner. So I'm going to just reiterate at the beginning what we said. The more clearer you are, the more conversions or sales you will get. So an example for you to start off from scratch, and you may have heard it 1,000 times, is that you want to help a specific type of person get a specific result in a specific time frame without a specific objection. Okay? That is the basic formula or process or framework people use in order to start articulating in a clearer manner their offer. Once you have that filled in, then you're going to try to tweak it. Tweak it in a sense that talks more about transformation. Keep in mind, I've given you the basics so that you can start with. Then you have to use your thinking capabilities in order for you to say, how can I transmit the transformation I provide? If you don't know, ask ChatGPT to give you some ideas. But ideally, you want to transform, you want to tweak, you want to reiterate this framework. An example will be how to help digital nomads make 5K in 90 days without pay ads. That's an example. But keep in mind, I haven't made it specific. So for me to make it specific, I can say, I help digital nomad in Bali. Okay, I'm being very specific to whom I'm talking to. Make 5 to 10K within the next 90 days without showing their face on social media. All right, instead of saying without ads, now I'm saying without showing your face on social media. So I'm trying to talk to a specific demographic within the market, within the niche. Now, I'm not going after a niche. I'm going after a segment of the market, which is the avatar that I'm looking for. So if you want to position your offer, make your offer go after an avatar, not a niche, because a niche is very vague. You want to talk to someone specific. It can be a self-reflection of yourself, someone similar to you, or it can be a totally opposite person to yourself, which you have experience working with, okay? Also, an example, I help coaches launch and sell digital products with or without big audience. You can say I help specific coaches in certain industry or struggling with something and trying to sell their digital product without a big audience, or just with 500 to 1,000 followers, something like that. If you implement it that way, you again are trying to become more specific based on the avatar, not the niche. Because if you're going after a niche, you're gonna stay stuck. And as last, again, keep it simple, keep it specific, so that you can attract audiences in a clear manner. And as last, we can talk about 3 things that you want to avoid. If you are implementing these things within your offer, you're gonna avoid people ghosting you. You're gonna avoid, sell something that you feel vague about or unaligned with, and you're gonna avoid struggling to get interest into your offer, okay? Because again, you implemented these things and they're gonna greatly help you. And again, if you are interested, you wanna learn more, you can simply sign up to my newsletter. You can get more information over there. And if you feel you wanna work with me, there's 2 ways you can do that. You can go through the course, which is kind of like a group effort, or you can go with the option of the Nomad Pro, which you can also work one-on-one with me. Keep in mind, those are capped at 8 people per month, as I've shown you guys an example. So ideally, you want to work with me will be great, because then we can build out your system together, and I can give you pointers what to do and how to build your brand, and also how to articulate your transformation that you want to achieve with your offer. All right, guys, I appreciate it. Make sure you follow me, and we will see each other afterwards. Take care. Have a good day.